Welcome back to today's video. In today's video, I'm making my prediction for the 2024 Senate election in the 2024 election. Before today's video, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below and like the video for more content just like this. And so we're looking at the 2024 electoral map with regards to our 34 seats as being tossed up in this election. And so taking a look at several of these particular states, starting off with the state of Montana. Currently in the state of Montana, you do see here that Tim Sheehy is ahead by approximately 7 percentage points, and John Tester is currently behind. Now, John Tester is a two-term Democratic senator in a very red state. He's one of those Democrats similar to Joe Manchin or so similar to those types of Democrats who end up winning in extremely red or blue states. So you do have certain senators who win in extremely Republican or Democratic states. John Tester is an example of that. He won in 2012 when Barack Obama lost in that state by 13.6 percentage points. John Tester ended up winning by 3.6 percentage points. Similarly, in 2018, you did see that John Tester did end up winning in that race as well. While there was no general election, you did see that in the 2020 general election, Donald Trump did end up winning by around 16 percentage points. So Tim Sheehy is obviously going up against a very skilled politician, and Tim Sheehy is currently ahead by 7 percentage points, and it will most likely go to the Republicans. Combined with Donald Trump's, down ballot effects, I do believe that Tim Sheehy will end up winning, combined with the fact that he is seems to be more popular here in this particular state of Montana. Moving on from the state of Montana, let's go ahead and take a look at the state of Nevada. In the state of Nevada, currently Roseanne here, an incumbent Democrat, is ahead by approximately 7.5 percentage points. Now, 7.5 percentage points is quite a big margin compared to the 2022 midterm elections, where you saw that in the Republican Senate election, you did see the Republican ended up losing by around 0.8 percentage points. So this is definitely a very good margin for the Democrats going into this election in the state of Nevada, and Roseanne can be pretty hopeful in terms of winning re-election here because she is ahead by a pretty large margin here in the state of Nevada, and I think that will counterbalance the down ballot effects that Donald Trump may have. In the state of Arizona, Kari Lake is going down. That's what's happening in the state of Arizona. Kari Lake is finished. She is finished. She's going to lose this election. Now, I don't want to be too decisive about that because I did see the Senate election the Senate debate rather, that happened more recently. And in that Senate debate, I think Kari Lake did pretty good in that debate. I only watched about the first 25 to 30 minutes of that debate. I'll put the link for the Kari Lake versus Gallego debate. I believe it happened about 1 or 2 days ago, and I watched about the first 25 minutes. And Kari Lake actually did pretty good on that debate. But that being said, who would watch the Senate debates anyways? Only people who are very interested into politics would watch a Senate debate, or very older voters would watch a Senate debate. But I think that Kari Lake did a pretty good job in that debate. I know some people on Reddit said that she did pretty bad, but I think she did pretty good overall. In the debate, she probably did get hammered down on abortion and stuff like that, but she did do pretty good on illegal border crossings and stuff like that. So, but anyways, Ruben Diego is probably going to end up winning. Now, I'd be very shocked if Kara Lake were to get this even within 2 percentage points. If she gets this even within 2 percentage points, I'd honestly just be shocked because I think that she's been in politics for so long at this point, and she hasn't really been doing anything other than give speeches at like the RNC and Turning Point USA and places like that. She does her job best where she was originally, which is a news commentator, which is where she was originally. So she should probably go back to that job which she had originally. She's not fit for politics. She loses elections. Like she lost in 2022, which should have been a very easy election to win. She lost not an easy election, but it should have been a manageable election at least to win. Not super easy yet not super difficult. And she lost again in 20. She's gonna lose again in 2024, and she's going to be out within about three weeks or so. Right, that's when the election round is happening. She's going to be out of politics. She's just going to be going on, podcasts and stuff like that. Moving on to the state of New Mexico, the Democrats are going to end up winning their head by 10 percentage points. Obviously, it's going to be a while for the Republicans there. In the state of Florida, Scott is currently ahead by 4 percentage points. I don't think he's going to end up winning. I think he's going to end up winning by around 5 percentage points or greater. I think Donald Trump's going to win this state by around 7 to 8 percentage points. And I think that's going to help out Scott in that state. He's going to end up winning there by about 5 percentage points. Moving on to the state of Ohio, currently Sherrod Brown here is ahead by 2.6 percentage points. In the most recent polling, the last two polls, you do see that Brown is only ahead by 1 to 2 percentage points. And I do believe that Donald Trump will end up winning the state by around 89 percentage points, which will be very good for the Senate Republicans there in that state. And I do believe that he is going to end up winning Marino is going to end up winning, because I do believe that Donald Trump's going to win in this state by a large margin, and that's going to trickle down to Marino there in that particular state. Moving on from that state from the state of Ohio to the state of Wisconsin. In the state of Wisconsin, currently Baldwin is ahead of Hood by 3.4 percentage points. Now, 3.4 percentage points is a pretty good margin for him, but I don't think that it's enough of a margin for him in order to have a really good, solid victory. Because Donald Trump will win the state of Wisconsin most likely. He's going to win the state most likely. And if he wins the state by around 1 or 2 percentage points, Hoof is probably going to get some traction from that. And he's probably going to end up, losing the state by around only 1 or 2 percentage points. So I do believe that that's going to be extremely important. I do believe that he will end up winning in the state, but I believe it's going to be a little bit closer than what the polls are telling. Similarly, in the state of Michigan, Michigan is very interesting here. Currently, Democrats only had by around 1.9 percentage points. The Slotson is only had by 1.9 percentage points, which is a very, very small margin there for the Democrat. He needs to win by a larger margin than that. But I do believe he's still going to end up winning. He's going to go within the tilt margin or so, but I don't think he's going to still end up winning. And then in the state of Pennsylvania, again, Bob Casey had by 3.9 percentage points, a little bit down compared to before. He's still going to end up winning most likely, but it's going to be a very, very close race compared to where it was about 2 months or 3 months ago. So that is for several of those states there. Let's take a look at our YAMS map and kind of fill this out here. Washington, California, both Democrat strongholds. Wyoming, Utah, Tennessee, Missouri, Mississippi, Indiana, also West Virginia. Let me just talk about this really quick. West Virginia, there's only one poll in the state. It's Jim Justice here. Obviously, he's going against Alito, who took over from Joe Manchin, who retired because he's probably going to lose in this race. Jim Justice is ahead by 34 percentage points. It's a huge margin for him there, and he's probably going to end up winning by around a safe margin there in that state. So basically, what's happened basically is that West Virginia is a lost cause at this point for the Democrats. It wasn't a lost cause in 2018 or in 2012, yet now it has officially become a lost cause. In the state of Hawaii, Democrats will end up winning, as well as in the state of Nebraska, Democrats will end up winning. North Dakota, Republicans will end up winning in both those races. Nebraska is a very interesting state. It is very close, actually, in the most recent polling data. Currently, the Republicans are up by around 15 percentage points in the most recent elections in both 2018 and 2012. So I do believe that that will end up translating over to a victory right here in the state of Nebraska in the safe margin. It is getting a little bit close. I did hear some reports about that, but overall, I think the Republicans are going to end up winning, whether it be a likely margin or a safe margin. It doesn't really matter too much. West Virginia, Tim Kaine is in the state. Tim Kaine, if you don't know who he is, he's Hillary Clinton's former running mate in 2016. He'll end up winning by a likely margin there in that state. New York will end up going in the likely margin, as well as the state of New Jersey and Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Delaware, and the state of Maryland will end up being a little bit more closer. Maryland, currently, you do have Hogan here. Let me go back here. That was Massachusetts. In the state of Maryland here, let me go over to the state. Sorry. All right. Looks like we don't have some polling data here in the state of Maryland. Okay, good. So Maryland here. In the state of Maryland, we do see here that Alsberg is only ahead by 9.5 percentage points in a state which is very, very Democrat here. If you take a look at this, Maryland is a state that's very Democratic. If you take a look at 2024, the general election polls currently in the state of Maryland, this is one of those situations where you have a Republican in a deep blue state, similar to John Tester. Kamala Harris is currently beating Donald Trump by around 30 percentage points in the state of Maryland, whereas Hogan is only being beaten by around 10 percentage points. So this is another situation where you see a very, very red state in the general election is a little bit more competitive in the Senate elections. But nevertheless, I do believe that in the state of Maryland, the Democrats will end up winning in the likely to really lead margin. I'll put in the lead margin for now. I might end up going in the likely margin, but I'll put in the lead margin for now. Moving on from that, let's take a look at the state of New Mexico. I will put in the likely margin. And then in the state of Texas, I'm going to go and put the state in the likely margin as well. Ted Cruz will probably end up winning by 5 percentage points or greater. Keep that seat there for the Republicans there. Florida as well in the likely margin. Now you have the state of Arizona. Ruben Diago is probably going to end up winning by a lean margin, as well as the state of Nevada. He's probably going to end up winning there in the lead margin there in the state of Nevada. Roseanne is currently at by 7.5 percentage points. And then you have the state of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Now, this is a little bit interesting. I'm going to go and put these states here in the lead margin as of right now. I might change them a little bit later on, but for now, I'm going to put them in the lead margin. Michigan might go on the tilt margin for now. I might put Michigan in the tilt margin. Uh, you could see Wisconsin also going in the tilt margin as well. But for now, I'm going to put Michigan in the tilt margin. Currently, Slotkin, I believe is how you pronounce his name, is ahead by only 1.9 percentage points. And I think he's going to underperform the polling data in this particular Senate election due to the fact that Donald Trump is at the top of the ticket. So I do believe that that's going to be very influential there in the state of Michigan. And then you have the state of Ohio. Ohio is going to vote for the Republicans there in the tilt margin, as well as the state of Montana there in the lean to likely margin. I'm going to go and put the state in the likely margin there. In the state of Minnesota, I do believe the Democrats, Amy Klobuchar, is running in that race there. She's currently at by around 11 percentage points. I'm going to go and put the state in the likely column there. And then in the state of Maine, I'm going to go and give it to the Democrats there in the likely column. But anyways, guys, for these, sorry, let me fill out one other state here. Nebraska's congressional district there, that one seat there will end up going for the Republicans there in the likely margin there. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, make sure to subscribe button down below and like the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button as we're approaching 500 subscribers. And if you agree or disagree with the sentiment, write it down in the comment section below. Write down whether or not you think that Kari Lake will overperform in the state of Arizona. Write down whether or not you think that. Also, do you think that Republicans can end up getting these Rust Belt states a little bit closer here for the Senate elections as they gear up? Is Bob Casey going to lose his job? Who's going to lose their job here? Write it down in the comment section below. Write down whether John Tester, you think John Tester is going to do an upset here victory in the state of Montana? Also in Ohio, do you think that the Republicans can retake this state here from Sherrod Brown? And I'll see you in the next video.